Hi guys, Lone Survivor here. Today I want to talk about the Tahoma field knife. Okay, designed by Andy Tran. I'm sure a lot of you by now have seen this knife around. Either you have it or you've seen the other reviews on YouTube. What I want to do is just go over some specs first. We'll get that out of the way and we'll go from there. So the total length is about 13 inches. Okay, it's 1095 high carbon steel, but they have a differential heat treat around the edge area, which really adds to the edge retention and strength. It's 3/16 of an inch thick. All right, we've got some. I'll just come up so it's a little bit closer for you guys. Okay, so we've got a bow drill divot here. Okay, we've got some jimping on the spine this way. You also have that finger choil. Okay, you can get that extra grip. Okay, you do have a secondary edge on the top. Now I believe you can get that sharpened or unsharpened depending on your preference, and also the laws relating double-edged knives in your area. This is a bullet puller, so you pull the projectile part of the round off so you can get to the gunpowder. I haven't yet tried that. I don't know what kind of caliber that would fit in there. Maybe, I'm not sure, but I'd have to test it out. Like I said, bow drill divot, full tang construction, as most tops knives are, and you've got a pry on the end. This can be used as a pry bar. I mainly use it for whacking the knife into wood for other uses. Okay, you do have these. It's not a saw tooth as such. It's my understanding that it's used for, you know, lifting pots off the fire, maybe scoring bone. I have actually, if I had my striker handy, I'll actually throw a strike off that for you. Some sparks. That'll actually, even though it's 1095 and it has the river wash, it will throw a spark because I've done it before. But anyway, I'll go through some batoning first. So what I've got here is a big bit of wood. Basically, if I was in a survival situation and this is the only knife I had, I very much doubt that I'd actually choose this bit of wood to go through. I would probably pick something a lot smaller, quarter it. What I mean by quartering is I'd go from to there, here and here until I work my way down the core. That seems a little bit more sensible. But what I'm going to give a go today is I'm going to show you how to baton. If this is the only bit of wood you had, maybe, I don't know why, but just say it was. I'm going to show you how to use a wedge. Alright, so you're not just pounding the crap out of your knife. One day you may not have a knife as strong as the Tahoma field knife. It might be some other knife, who knows. But I want to give this a go, and I'll give you guys a bit of a demonstration there as soon as I find my baton stick. We'll use this one. Okay, so start off, we'll get the knife in a good spot. I want to try and leave enough blade over this side. I know with the Tahoma field knife, when you baton, say if you were doing something just a little bit smaller, you can actually put it here and baton on this side. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You can do that. But of course we've got the wedge today. I'm going to try something else. So I'm going to overextend it just a little bit. Okay, let's give it a go. Through now, baton on this side, even that blade up, even the blade up, okay. So what I'll do now is I'll grab the wedge, stick the wedge right in the center, smack that wedge down in there. again. Even the knife up. Even the knife up. Go back to the wedge. Now again, you can already hear the wood cracking. Now again, start again. The other side. And hit the wedge. You can tell just here, if you have a look, you can actually hear the wood. Alright, you can see how the wedge is opening that area up, and the knife is basically just splitting down. Once we get to about here, this wood is just going to pop, because it'll be the actual wedge, hopefully, that's going to split this wood. So, a bit more. Bit more wedge. Okay, the wedge is working because it's splitting the wood. It's not actually the knife. If you can have a look at the knife, it's not doing the splitting, it's the wedge. And this is a hard bit of wood. I must have picked the hardest bit of wood in the whole forest, but anyway. If I had to do it in a situation, then I had to do it. So, even the knife up. You can see the wedge coming loose. Wedge.
Yep.
Okay. Knife. Wedge. Wedge, realign, you can hear it. Okay, wedge. Turn it sideways. That's how it's done. That was a big bit of wood. You can see here the core, and it was very tough. I'm not a wood expert, but that was tougher than what I thought it was going to be. But anyway, from here, then you can go ahead, put the Tahoma in. Boom. That's a good size. Okay. Then basically straight down. So you can see the toughness of the Tahoma field knife. It's impressive because that edge part where you can sharpen it, that's not actually the thickest of all knives, you know, right here. Okay, but having the baton hit it at that angle, I found that it really bit into the wood. As you can see there, I wasn't hitting it straight, I was hitting it maybe a 45, I don't know. Just enough so that that would bite, Okay, so when it bit, it dragged the knife down. But with that wedge, you can see it took a lot of stress off my knife, and in the end it was the wedge that was doing the work. That's the whole point. I wouldn't necessarily do anything that big if I was out here. Alright, let's do some draw knife. Come over this way. Alright, so let's have a look. Just say you want to do some, you know, you're making a bow, you want to whittle down something, whatever you want to do. This draw knife feature, I know the Tracker's got it. This is a longer blade, it's got no saw teeth on top, so it's a lot easier to grab. So basically if I wanted to draw a knife, I would wedge that nice and good, whatever it was that I was doing, and then basically I would just draw. Okay, nice, very good, that's it, like that. You can see how efficient. You get that right angle, and if you've got a good edge on your blade, you could whittle something down, no problem. Just keep drawing that draw if you want to get a bit deeper, get a good bit going. There you go. You can shave out the belly of a bow. Okay. So yes, you can draw with it. No problem actually. That edge there, because it's not serrated like I said, or it's got no saw teeth, you can really grab it. You probably only use maybe 2.5 inches of that part of the blade right here. Scraping would probably be the same if you had to just come around this way. So if you had to scrape, maybe for some tinder or to get something smooth, you can see that there, you can scrape. So if you want to get a fine job done, or you can see just there, very good. Maybe some tinder, you want it really quick for your bow drill. Okay, you just get that scraping going and you've got it there. You've also got the bow drill divot. I don't actually have a divot made up, but it's not too hard to imagine. You know, you've got your knife, you make something, whittle down something, you know, big enough, however thick you want that the bit that goes around. So you'd have your knife here. I should actually do a demo on this, but I never got around to making the fireboard that's on your leg, and basically you get your bow drill and you get going. So that's a good feature. I haven't yet tested it, but it would work. I have no doubt it would work. But you saw me just pound the crap out of it. It took it, especially on the thinnest part of the blade, where if it was done a give, I would say it would be right on the tip, but it stays strong, and I think that's that differential heat treat. The only other thing I find really helpful is probably this part here at the pommel, and usually I'll do that to split other bits of wood. If I was making you know, kindling or anything like that, I would pretty much split it. Okay, if I got a bit like this, okay, I'll put the blade in. Instead of trying to split this at an odd angle, well, obviously like this, it's not going to do too well. Usually I'll put the blade in the center. You know, this one's round, so it's probably not going to stay straight for me. And then I'll just whack it there. And it will come undone. So you don't have to baton on the blade all the time. If you've got that striking part on the pommel, on the back, you know, you can split wood with that as well. There you go. And you can break that down to any size you want. So that's another useful feature. Very handy. I love that knife. Okay guys, just to finish up with, what I want to go over is just the sheath that I've got for the Tahoma field knife. It's made by JT Leather, and I got this off eBay. I believe they got an eBay store. Very good quality leather. I would say it's probably 10 ounce Herman oak leather. Very well made. I'll just give you a close-up of it. Okay. Very thick welt. Okay. Very thick. Now it has a belt loop on the rear. That's wide enough for any utility belt. Okay. It did come with a dangler ring. I cut that off. I don't really need it. It's securely fastened here. It's just got single stitching around. I would have liked double. However, it just came with stitching, which is fine. Now it just slips in. The Tahoma field knife it slips in and it stays there under pressure. Similar to, I guess, Kydex. There's no clip, obviously. It doesn't clip in. You could wet mold that, the top part. I guess you could do that. But I find that once the blade gets to here, it's very, like I'm just holding the edge. I'm not really holding the blade. And that's not even all the way in yet. Once it goes all the way in, it's very secure. You can carry this on your belt, obviously. Has that belt loop. But how I like to do it is I feed it through my belt, and just where it starts to rise there, I have it here. Pretty much a cross draw style. Pull it out, and it's just there. Then when I'm finished, very easy, straight back in. So that's how I like to carry it. If I want to put my shirt over it, you can put your shirt over it. Conceal it a little bit more if you wanted to. When you're ready, it's just there. Sitting's not a problem, bending, picking up anything. So all in all, I'm very happy. I know there's a few different options you can get out there these days, but I find this one kind of suits my needs, and it's quick and easy. No dramas. Like I said, it's JT Leather. Pretty sure if you search for them on the net, you'd find them. Cost, I think, was $40 Australian or $30 American, something, but not very much. Very good for what it is. So that's it. I just wanted to go over the sheath because, as we all know, the top sheaths, they kind of leave a little bit to be desired. So these days it seems like you have to buy a good quality knife and then go ahead and get another sheath. But anyway, that's my sheath for the Tahoma field knife. Alright guys, Lone Survivor out. Stay safe.